I'm Skip Slusher and Shine, and we just did a video about 5 favorite groundwork exercises, and Cooper was so good that we didn't get a chance to show you what happens if they don't do it really perfectly at the start. So Shine rarely does it perfectly from the start. So we thought she'd be a great candidate to show how you have to kind of correct things. So the first exercise for groundwork that I like is back and forth. So I'm going to ask her to come into me. That was good. And back up. So I'm going to bring my energy up. And hopefully you see her rock back before she moves her feet. Now she's getting ready to not, there we go, to not come to me. So instead of getting in a fight straight on, I'm going to change the angle like to a 45 to the side. She kind of has to follow that. Because if I'm pulling this way, I'm asking this way, it's hard for her to sink her body in and resist that. So if she doesn't back up, I'm going to get bigger back here. She didn't like that very much, so I'm going to do it again just a little softer. There, because I want her to know it's not a big deal. Just back up when I ask. So here's the big test on the forward. We'll go straight on first. Good. If I come to the side, she gets more willing to come. So that angle, instead of getting in this big tug of war, which you're going to lose, change your angle to the side just a little bit and they'll follow you way more willingly that direction. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is the bending exercise. Again, I want her head coming in towards me, this inside hind stepping to the outside front. And not bad, actually. I'm going to stop her, back her, and then we're going to send her the other way. Now, the trick is, as far as pressure escalation, it's 2, 3, and then 8. So you give them a chance at 2, you give them a chance at 3, and then you go to 8 and get in, get out. Be short and sweet. So this side, she's relaxed a little more, her head's relaxed. She's starting to actually shorten her body a little bit, which is why you see that head come down. I'm not asking that head to come down. She's dropping it because she's getting balanced. So she's actually being way better than we thought. We're like, Shine won't do this. Let's get her. She's doing it. So the next thing is yield the hind. So I'm going to come out and circle around right to the hind. And I'm not going to let her walk forward. I'm just going to block that with my left hand. And you're all right. Let's go the other way. So again, I come out, and when I walk right at this should yield. And she should step under with that. So that's all about my energy being directed right there. Next thing is, and this one could be a trick. I want to back her and change the direction of her front. So I want her to float this front around while she backs up. It's a little overreactive. I'm not going to change anything. Just keep asking the same thing. There we go. There we go. There we go. So if I would have let her change the dynamic when she started to freak out and worried about that, she would have taken control of what we're doing. I just kept at it until I got some nice tries. So then the final thing is I'm going to lunge her and stop her, and she usually is a little bit exuberant at this one. So let's see what we get. Some exuberance. She's doing way more than I'm asking, so I'm just going to stay with her. Ask her to rock back over her hocks. Nice. Now this is a really athletic horse, by the way, if you haven't noticed. So she didn't back up, so I came into her to ask her to roll over her hocks before she changed directions. Like that. And then I want to send her that way. She's rocked back, so I don't need to go towards her, just send her. Good girl. Now she's a little bit worked up about this, not terrible, but you want to make sure that you give them their attaboy, attagirls when they do it. Because it shouldn't be all up, 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 up. It needs to be some softness and some breaks and some releases. So that is the 5 groundwork exercises on a horse that isn't quite as polished with it. So again, front and back, front and back. They need to rock back before they move their feet. When they come into you, you like it to be where they follow you without having to pull. Now she's reluctant. Change the angle just a little, and there you go. And then yield the hind. Remember, you go out, around, pressure right to the hind. Yield the front is I'm backing her and I'm pressuring to the side so she floats the front away from me. And then finally the lunge with turns. If she has to stop, gather herself, and go the other way, you get a good idea of her energy level, mentally where she is, physically where she is. And this is a pretty athletic horse, so she also has a work ethic, so she thinks that's the great part. She's like, yeah, let's go. Da, da, da. So anyway, that's the groundwork rules, exercises on a horse that isn't quite as experienced and doesn't know it that well, and maybe some of the fixes that you might have to implement as you run into trouble. And again, if you like any of this, subscribe.